Hello, everyone. Good morning. And thank you so much for taking a little bit time out of your day to come along and listen to me share with you a little bit more detail about the management and human resource management majors of our Bachelor of Management degree at UTS Business School. My name is Dr. Helena Liu. I'm a senior lecturer in the management discipline group, and specifically, I am one of the passionate lecturers in the human resource management team. So I'm really, really honored and excited to share with you a little bit more about what we do and what you can expect as a student here. So let's get into it. So did you know that 20% of a CEO's job content can be replaced with technology? Isn't that interesting? So now when we're looking at the future of work, right, machine learning, automation, artificial intelligence, we have to really think about the ways in which we could future-proof our jobs. And so much of the work that's done in organizations today can actually be replaced with technology. But do you know the jobs that are most future-proof, that won't be replaced with machine learning and AI, are the activities that require social and emotional reasoning, the sort of tasks that we human beings are very good at doing, and technology not so much. And these sorts of tasks involve creating and communicating a vision, right? So kind of coming up with a big picture of what we want for an organization and its people 10, 20, 30 years down the line. Motivating people, right? Tapping into hearts and minds and swaying your employees. Resolving conflict, the inevitable tensions that emerge when human beings work with people who think and behave differently to them, and really figuring out how to work with diversity. And also how to cooperate with people, how to discern yours and others' strengths and weaknesses, and synergizing those in order to produce beautiful work together. So all of these tasks, what they really have in common is that they are the foundation of management. And a management degree at UTS is really designed to help you cultivate those human, right, those social emotional skills that cannot be replaced by technology in the future, that we so vitally need in our organizations and societies. So why would you choose management at UTS? When I was finishing off my HSC, UTS was my dream university. I ended up going to a university down the road, but I was really depressed about it because I stepped into UTS and I could just feel the energy and the positive vibes all around this university. Right, we're one of the largest and most diverse groupings of management academics in Australia. So you're going to meet lots of different lecturers throughout your degree, all of who take a different approach to management. So you're learning something as wide and nebulous as management from many, many different points of view. We also give you real engagement with industry. We're not about dry textbook theory here, and then you go out into the real business world and you think, oh, I have no idea what to do. But we give you opportunities for internships and business practice and even just real world business cases in the classroom so that what you're learning is directly relevant and up to date so that when you graduate and you step out into the workforce, if you're not there already during your degree, you're able to immediately start applying what you learn in your lectures right into your day-to-day business practices. There is also a lot of flexibility in our degrees to build your professional portfolio through industry projects and internships because we know the field out there is really, really competitive. And so we want to give you the best leg up into your professional career. So we're going to give you opportunities to do those internships, to have business placements so that you can list real world business experience in your CV when you graduate. You get a wide choice of majors, sub-majors, and subjects. So you can really think of this as a delicious buffet table of subjects where you can pick and choose, right? If you're interested in events management, sports management, across the wide range, which I'll show you more on the next slide. But there's really any kind of interest you have, any passions you have for the industry that you'd like to see yourself working in, for the kind of job you would really like to do for the next few years of your life. We're going to have subjects that are really tailor-made so you get that taste of industry knowledge and experience. And something I'm intimately familiar with is that we're accredited by the Australian Human Resources Institute. Now, for most of you, that might not mean anything. So really, in a nutshell, what that means is the biggest governing body of the Australian Human Resource Institute, or ARI, looks at our entire degree, our human resource management degree, and checks that we are closely aligned with all of the demands and interests of real-world business practices. They check that we are engaging with industry professionals, with business placements, so that we can assure that when you graduate from an HRM degree, you are ready and able to serve as an HR manager of any organization out there. So we've got the seal of approval from ARI that you've done that. And when you graduate from an HRM degree at UTS, you can immediately be eligible to apply for ARI professional member status. That then enters you into a tightly knit network of professionals to help, again, give you that leg up and the open door into future career and job placements. So the management in the Bachelor of Business, what that looks like is that you'll do your majors, you'll choose your majors across management, or you could do a management extension, which some other universities might call an advanced management major. So you add on 4 extra subjects. You could do a major in human resource management, which is the area that I teach in. And that's the one that I will speak to more intimately about as our presentation goes on. Or you could pick an international business major. And underneath that, there are sub-majors, right? So you would be able to do 4 subjects in these streams. So you could do management on top of management. You might want to look into management consulting, international management, event management, sports management. So some of these really drill deep if you know there's a particular industry or field that you would really love to apply your knowledge to. So I see some questions are already starting to come in, which is wonderful. If it's okay with you, I'll just keep talking with the rest of this webinar. And then at the end, I'll loop back around. I'll collect all your questions, give you a chance to upvote the ones that you care about, and we'll answer them all in one go. So management is so important to businesses because not only is it one of the future-proof parts of future businesses, but it's really at the heart of what drives an organization or department forward. It kind of pulls everything together. It's the glue that holds an organization together because organizations are fundamentally made up of people. So management is really the study and the organization of people. In your management major, you'll have 6 core subjects. So this is what everybody needs to learn from their first year. So you would be looking at an introduction to strategy, understanding organizations, theory and practice. And this really kind of drills deep into the philosophy and the science of organizations. You want to be learning about global operations and supply chain management, right? This is constantly overlooked in organizations, but is really at the core of what keeps organizations running successfully and smoothly. You'll also have a great subject where you'll learn management skills. So this is like the communication, the psychological, the sociological skills you need to be an effective and ethical manager. Speaking of ethics, what's really core to UTS and our values of social justice is you will have business ethics and sustainability, right? Pressing social issues be front and center in your degree. And then you'll also have management capstone, which comes at the end of your degree that wraps everything together and sort of gets you to build a portfolio of what you've learned all throughout the 3 years of your degree into one whole. And you get to choose any two of the following that really lights you on fire. So a lot of people love choosing the business internship because then that gives you the real world business placement and experience to go on your CV before you graduate. And previous students who have done that subject rave about it. So that's one that's very, very popular. But you could also choose to dive deep into innovation and entrepreneurship. Maybe you don't want to work for someone else. Maybe you want to be your own boss someday. So the innovation and entrepreneurship would be a great elective to choose to really understand what would that look like if you want to strike out on your own and start a startup. Or maybe you want to be a consultant. So management consulting would be a terrific subject to choose. So as I said, this is a delicious buffet table and there's no right or wrong here. It's about just going with your passions. So taking a look at that and really seeing what would really be aligned with your aspirations and dreams. So there's a lot to learn in management. Overall, your degree builds you in your core management skills so you can be an effective manager anywhere you want. Maybe you want to run events, and so you want to manage all the contractors and all the employees running around with you to pull off an incredible event. Maybe you want to do sports management, so how do you motivate the team, the coaches? Maybe you want to design your own startup, as we talked about on the last slide. So how do you manage and motivate and inspire the people who are taking a risk and joining your company in the hopes that it will become the next amazing thing? So overall, there are many different levels in which we're learning management skills. So first, we learn managing people. You learn how to manage individual people. You'll learn the basics of psychology and social psychology to understand what motivates people, what inspires people. We'll learn about designing organizations. So you can think of that as learning to manage groups of people. So how do you take a look at a whole team, right? It could be a small intimate team, or it could be a giant organization of thousands. How do we manage that? And the differences, the distinctions that come up between managing an individual and managing a group. You also would look at change management. Organizations need to be adaptable and flexible, constantly pivoting. I mean, this COVID pandemic has shown that the organizations that survive are the agile, nimble companies that can look at what's happening and quickly adapt to shift their offerings and their strategies. So change management will be the skills that help you become more adaptable as a manager. And of course, we've got organizational development, which is about how an organization learns from its past practices and maybe past mistakes in order to continually improve their practices. This degree can take you to many, many different places. The possibilities are endless. And it's not just about your immediate future, like what's the first job you're going to get, but also about the long-term career advancements. So the most obvious choice is that people think, oh, you know, I do a management degree so I can become a career manager, as in I'll manage people for the rest of my career. But I also want you to think a little bit beyond the box as well, because as long as you're going to be working with people, management is going to be vital to what you do. So think of this management career as giving you soft, transferable skills that you can apply to almost anything and everything. So in addition to being a career manager, you would also be able to advance in your profession. So maybe you think, I don't necessarily know if I will become a manager or if I'll necessarily like being a people manager, but I'm pursuing maybe another degree in engineering, law, medicine, and accounting. And in that sense, a management major will help you develop the skills for how you can manage yourself and also manage the people around you to more effectively do your job. So it will be an asset to you, even if you're not thinking, oh, I want to be a manager. It's also not just about working for a corporation. right, in the private sector. Management skills can be applied to anything or sectors. So if you know that you want to work in the public sector, right, if you want to work for government, or maybe you want to work for the third sector, an NGO, charities, or philanthropic foundations, these management skills can be applied to a broad range of sectors. So think beyond the box. If you're not thinking purely corporations, again, management can really help you in whatever career and field you choose. So let me dive a little bit more deeply into the human resource management major. And then we'll quickly wrap up this webinar and I'll catch any questions that you have. So the core subjects is you'll be studying Introduction to Human Resource Management, Managing Strategic Performance, Strategic HRM, and Managing Employee Relations. So this is getting really much more deeply into the employee relations side. So human resource management can take you in a range of places, and don't think it's only going to make you an HR officer. So let me give you 3 case study examples from our former graduates. So this is Bianca. Bianca did a Bachelor of Business with us fairly recently, graduated in 2014. So in 2013, before Bianca graduated, Bianca did her internship placement with a company called Zambrero. So in Zambrero, she worked as an HR consultant purely in a placement during her degree. So when she graduated, Zambrero was so impressed by her performance that they offered her a role as an HR manager, right? That's the dream. You've got your foot in the door. They know, like, and trust you. And then within a year, because Bianca was so dedicated, so effective as an HR manager, she was promoted to HR director. 2 years after that, Bianca became general manager. And as of 2018, Bianca became the CEO of Zambrero. So talk about a powerhouse career. Isn't that wild? There's also Jonathan. So Jonathan came to us after having already done a bachelor's in psychology, and then came in and did a bachelor's of business with us in 2004. In 2005, Jonathan took that to the other side of the world and became a recruitment advisor to a London-based company called Logica. And then with this kind of international experience, was then able to find work in recruitment for IBM for 4 years. In 2011, ended up as the Australia and New Zealand recruitment lead within IBM. And then again, jumped to Commonwealth Bank, another huge corporation, and became head of talent acquisition before eventually becoming the head of Latin America recruitment for Uber in 2017. So think of the HRM degree as also opening up the world to you and letting you expose yourself to international management experience so that you can hop all over the world, of course, once it's safe and sensible to do so after this pandemic. And finally, I want to introduce you to Arjun. So Arjun did a Bachelor of Business with us in 2009 and also added a research degree on top of that with an honors in management. And what ended up happening was in 2009, Arjun left and did a student scholarship with the United Nations in Thailand, worked as a volunteer for a little while, and then eventually in 2014, becoming a diplomat for the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade. So this is an example where somebody took an HRM degree and everything that they learned, took the opportunities that opened up for them, and then decided to enter a career that's not in conventional HRM, but is applying the skills that they learned in HRM every single day. So as I'm wrapping up my webinar, I want to leave you with a top tip for any of you considering studying management or HRM. Put people first. I want you to pursue this degree if you are passionate about working with people, if you truly care about people and you love motivating them, cooperating with them, and seeing them grow and flourish. So if you can take that passion for people into your degree, it will make you a better teammate, it will make you a better classmate, and it will help you learn in collaboration with everybody else around you. And honestly, it will make your degree so much more fun. If you need more info, there is a wealth of information on the website that I'm sure you've already seen. We are having one-on-one chats via the Talk platform. I've been in there all morning answering student questions. So if you wanted to know a little bit more, or just like speak with another student or another lecturer about what you would like to do, and if this degree is right for you, you can have that chat with them there. All right. So please stay connected with us. You can get in touch with us via phone, via email, via social media. And thank you so much for listening to me talk over these last 20 minutes. So I'm going to, as promised, open up the Q&A and check in with all of you there. Okay. So what's the difference between a Bachelor of Business with a major in management and the Bachelor of Management? Really, I think all this is coming down to is just the particular degree structure. You can, in fact, choose very much the same subjects, and that's still up to you to pick and choose what works for you. So the best thing to do there is just to take a look through the handbook and have a look at what makes sense to you, what allows you to balance the subjects that you want to do. From a perspective of being a graduate and having the opportunities and the accreditations and the qualifications to enter a career in management, there's no difference. So it's up to you to take a look there. Okay, what is the ATAR needed to get in? It really depends on what major you're doing. So all the majors have different ATARs attached to it. I also see that someone is answering your question in a little bit more depth via the text as well. So again, have a look on our website. We've got all the past ATARs, so you can have a sense of what the ballpark figure is. But I really just encourage you, if you're really passionate about one of the majors, to just apply. You never know. Does a management degree allow a better chance of becoming a manager than doing a business degree? Ultimately, it really comes down to your real-world business experience and career advancement beyond your degree. So it won't be that an organization will necessarily go, oh, you've done a management major, great, all right, we're going to make you a manager. Oh, you've only done a Bachelor of Business, no, not so much. So really, it's everything that you learn in your degree will be the skills to help you. And certainly, the management degree allows much more detailed, comprehensive, and robust training around the management skills. So that really gives you a leg up and can help distinguish you from more broader Bachelor of Business graduates. But how you make your degree is completely up to you. So you need to demonstrate the leadership, the communication, the motivation, the cooperation skills to really shine in your organization. And in the HR and the management majors, we do everything in our power to help you get ready for that. If we wanted to do HR and another degree, is that possible? Yes, all your degrees and all your majors and sub-majors can be mix and match. And that's one of the beautiful things about UTS, is that we really give you a lot of power and control. So take a look through the handbook, have a look at what you would like to maybe match your degree with. Really it's about what your passions and aspirations are. And you can pick the different degrees to help you complement your skills and your knowledge to excel in that field. Thank you so much for spending time with me today and taking this time out of your busy schedule. Stay safe, and I really, really hope to meet some of you in my classroom.